Hi, welcome back. The next topic which we will be exploring is how to validate an entity class, that is the fields in entity class. See, whenever we have an entity class, we may have a requirement such that so and so field should not be null, or the value should be a number, or the value should be minimum so and so value, maximum so and so value, or it should be a negative value or negative or zero, etc. So how can we achieve that in our application? See here, if you explore, the first and foremost requirement is you need to specify this specific starter in the pom.xml. Anyhow, I'm sharing this example with you so you can try to use it and make any changes accordingly. Yes, the first and foremost requirement is you need to add this specific dependency in the pom.xml. So when you add this dependency, all the related jar files are downloaded from the Maven central repository. The second requirement is the entity class objects which you will be receiving from the front end. You need to add this annotation at the rate valid. As already known, we were having at the rate request body, which indicates that the user object is received in the body of the HTTP request, and that is being further serialized or marshaled, and it can be consumed in the business logic. So in addition to that, we want to validate it and hence add the validation at the rate valid here. Okay, this is the second requirement. The third requirement is go to the entity class. So here user is the entity class for us. And the next thing is the specific field which you want to get validated automatically. To that you need to specify the additional annotation based on the validation which you need. So here my requirement is the name should never be null. That means whenever I'm receiving the JSON object and when that is getting marshaled onto the Java object, I do not want name to be null at all. That means the name field has to be there with some value. So that is the reason I added at the rate not null. So first let us see the working of this. Okay. So here it is running on the port 8993. So let me take the Postman tool and I'm trying to send the post request. Please cross check the controller REST endpoint. So it is /user /create and let us send the user object. So first let's do one thing. Let us try to create the user by giving some name, and I'll just try to give some ID 99. Since you are creating here, you don't need ID at all. You can remove that. Fine. Anyhow, I'm adding it here with some ID 99. And let me give the name as CCC. And let us see if it gets through. Yes, here we are getting primary. I think the reason is because of this 99. So let me try to make it 999. Fine. That issue was due to the ID. I removed the ID. The reason is here we are creating the new record and we do not need ID. So let us see if the record gets created. As you see here, it's getting created in the database. You can log into the database to the corresponding table and cross check. This application I'm not explaining in detail. The reason is this is already being covered in the previous lecture. Fine. Now let me try to do by making the name as null. That means I'm not having the name at all in the request object. As you see here, we are getting the bad request. And further, if you go and explore, here we are getting name cannot be null. The reason is we have specified that name cannot be null here. Fine. So that is the actual purpose of @valid annotation and @not null and related validation annotations. See here, if you explore further, you can also have the email @email here, so that it automatically checks if the given string is in email format. Similarly, minimum value, maximum value, negative value, negative or 0. So whenever you try to place this negative or 0 to a specific field, then only the negative values or 0 values are allowed for them. Okay. So similarly, we have not blank. That means the value cannot be blank. Okay. And this is for dates. Past means the date has to be the past. For example, say date of birth. It cannot be future. It cannot be. It may be present. Okay. So for that, you can annotate using @past.